Hello, you awesome people, and welcome to this lecture. Today, I want to tell you a small story from my home. One night, after a long and exhausting day, my daughter came to me and said, Papa, tell me a story. Now, that wasn't very unusual. She asked me almost every night, but on this particular day, I had an especially rough time at work, dealing with production release that stretched way longer than expected. At that moment, I had no idea what to say. I was tired, my mind was blank, and honestly, I just wanted to sleep. That's when a thought hit me. Instead of forcing myself to invent something new every night, why not build a system that could do it for me? This small parenting challenge became a spark for a much bigger idea. You see, kids are endlessly creative, and mine is no exception. She never wants the same story twice. One night it's a ghostly horror tale, the next night a fairyland with magical creatures, and sometimes even a dragon obsessed with chocolate. As a parent, I simply couldn't keep up with her imagination every single evening. And that's when I realized maybe an automated workflow with some built in AI could help me create unique bedtime stories on demand. As you can rightly realize, the solution had to be simple with as few tools as possible so that even a non IT parent could build it, right? As well as the interface had to be easy enough that even a child could use it without needing to know anything about coding again. Whether through voice or text, the system should let kids create and enjoy their own stories effortlessly. And most importantly, it should feel magical, not like using software but like opening a storybook machine. I'm sure most of us have gone through this parenting challenge, but if you are not, don't worry, you will realize it soon. Alright? To make this automation real, I chose n8n platform. I already have self-hosted n8n, so I want to use this for this storytelling workflow automation. Okay? Now, what should trigger this workflow? We have several choices as you can see here, right? We can always trigger it manually. It could be based on some form submission or chat message, right? But always remember the problem statement. We are developing this workflow for kids. I mean, my kid is 5. The most technical thing I did at that age was perhaps changing the TV channel with the help of remote, right? So keeping this in mind, the interface should be something she's already familiar with. The most obvious choice for this is WhatsApp. But WhatsApp integration is slightly tricky. It's it's more business oriented, and if we do it without verification, the token keep on expiring and we have to refresh every few hours. It's unnecessary burden. So I want to go with the second best choice in my mind, which is Telegram. It's something we are already familiar with, it's there in our phones, and it is very easy to set up. So let me use Telegram as a trigger for this. Click on this, and whenever a message arrives, this workflow should trigger, right? Let me take this. I already have a Telegram account, but for this setup, I want to do it from scratch. So I'll go here, create new credentials, and we want to obtain this access token from somewhere. We can always go through this documentation to understand how to get this token. Yes. So as per the instructions, we have to chat with bot father. Let's chat with bot father to create a new bot. New bot. We speak Hindi at home, so I'm taking this word as name of my bot, Loria. Okay. It is a Hindi word which means traditional lullabies. Okay, let's create this. Now we need to create a username. So I'll say Loria bot. Okay, it's already taken. So okay, I have to try a new name. Let's see if this works out. And yes, there we go. This name is available. So bot father has created bot for us, and here is the access token. Let me copy this and switch back to n8n workflow. Click here and save. There we go. Our Telegram account credentials are saved successfully. It has even tried to test the connection, which was successful. That's why we see this green ribbon. Let me click on this execute step and you can see it has started listening. Now I'll go to the newly created bot and start. And you can see it was able to trigger our workflow. This is the output of trigger. So things looks good between Telegram and n8n workflow. This is a proof. Awesome. Let me go back to the canvas, and what is the next thing we want? Maybe let me create an AI agent. Straightforward, right? AI agent. Instead of relying upon connected chat, I want to define the prompts myself. Okay. Now prompt is a place to show our creativity. We can give our custom instructions and ask LLM model to follow those instructions while generating the content for us. You may not use these prompts at all. You can just define everything by your own. That should be perfectly fine. But these prompts looks good to me for my own requirement. Okay, so I shall proceed with using this. Let me add a system message. System message has got all static text, nothing to change here. In user prompt, if you are wondering from where this JSON text came, there's nothing. Let me remove this and look for where is the user provided text. So user's message in our case was start message. So this is that text. I can just drag and drop here, and this is all fine. Okay. Let's execute this step. And it is quite obviously it is going to give error, because what is an AI agent without a chat model, right? So let me click on this chat model. Based on our preference, we can select a chat model from this list. In my case, I'm going to go ahead with OpenAI, which I'm most familiar with, right? I again have OpenAI account already set up, but in case you do not have, we can click on create new credential. Let me do it. Create new credentials. Go to platform.openai.com. Settings. API keys. You must have some credit balance, and then we can create an API key for ourselves, right? n8n just okay. Create secret key. Copy it. Paste it and then save. There we go. We are now connected to OpenAI. Cut this. Now, as we understand, we are developing this workflow for kids, right? We are not after money here. It must be a sustainable system. I've gone with OpenAI, but if you have a better LLM in your mind, which is creative, low in cost, and easy to set up, then you must go with it. You need not to follow this blindly. Alright? I'll go ahead with this GPT-4.1 mini. Sounds good. So let me go back and hit execute again. Vanshu is my kid's name, okay? With me sending this message, the workflow got executed, and in the output we have a story that is generated for my custom requirement in the language that my kid understand. How cool is that, isn't it? But hey, the user who initiated this conversation never got that story. What is the use when the user who initially asked for something do not get a response? The kid is not going to, open n8n workflow and read this. So we need to fix this. Well, we never got a response because we never asked n8n to provide a response. We added Telegram trigger to trigger the workflow, never to respond back, right? Let's fix this. Okay, so in order to respond back to a message, let's add another node, and it has to be Telegram since we are using Telegram. And what we want to do this time is send a message. Where is send a message? Send a text message. What is that we want to send? We want to send the output of AI agent. So AI agent will go here. Looks good. And to whom we will send it? The one who sent this message to the n8n workflow and triggered it. So expand this, go to chat, go to ID. Since it is asking for chat ID, I'll give the chat ID to it. And we are good. Let's execute the step. And there we go. We have got the story as a response to the request. This is super cute, isn't it? Leaving my grammar aside, everything is good about it. I'm already proud of it. But again, going back to the problem statement, we are developing this workflow for such small kids who cannot read or write in their own native language. Because by the time they start reading and writing, life already gives them so many challenges that they mostly do not have time for these fairy tales. Okay? I'm missing my childhood. Okay? So we want to integrate it with voice. So, and the choice of our interface, which is Telegram, has this option of voice messages as well. So instead of typing, we can even send voice messages. That is good, right? So instead of just relying upon the text messages, what we can do is modify this workflow a little bit and add support for voice as well. And believe me, it is super easy to achieve. All we have to do is, let me put it this way, add a new node, and we want to add a switch in the flow based on the kind of message that we receive via this Telegram trigger, right? So the node for this is switch. Let me use this. And now I know for sure whenever the audio message will come, this text field won't be there, right? So this could be a good distinguish between text and audio message, right? So I'll use this, go here, and this has to be a string, right? So I'll just say string exists. If this string exists, my workflow would know that it has received a text message. I want to rename the output to make it look cool, and I'll say text here. Now, and there is a text output created over here which is connected to AI agent, which is fine. Let me save this, execute it again, and this time I'll go to Telegram again and say create a story where Vanshu is a superhero who saves a village from fire. Send this, and you see the control did not go to AI agent this time because it came to switch. It did not find this message text and there was no output for it generated because the rule condition itself was not satisfied, because this time we had received a voice input, no text message, right? So let's create a routing rule for the voice again. I'll go here. Now I know that this file ID will be created only if there is a voice message. You can go back and see the voice, this object itself was missing a text message input, right? So I'll just anything we can drop. That's not a problem as such. It's up to us. And I'll say string exists. And if it exists, give output, say audio. This will be the name of our routing rule. I'll go back. Audio output this time. Right? Execute step. There is output which is audio type, but nothing happened again. I did not get the story back, right? Why? Because this node is not connected to AI agent. While we can connect it to AI agent just like that, but it won't work because the prompt in the AI agent is expecting it to provide some text, and what we are giving is audio message, which is not compatible with AI agent at the moment. So we need to do something to convert this audio into text format before we give it to AI agent. In order to convert this audio into text, first of all we need to do is grab the file. So let me download it with the help of Telegram node, and somewhere we should find download file. No, get a file. Okay, get a file. We need to provide the file ID. Let's look for the file ID here, which is here, voice file ID. We want to download, correct? And that should be enough. Let's execute the step. And so easily we are able to download the voice message. I can download it, and here this is the file which contains the exact voice message that I sent via Telegram. Now we need to do something. This audio file needs to be converted or transcribed into an audio message. Now converting voice into text is something where intelligence of LLM is needed. So again I'll choose OpenAI node. Go here and I'll look for transcribe a recording. So I'll choose to transcribe a recording, execute step, and there we go. So we have got the voice message converted into text, which is something we can give to our AI agent and generate the story based on our requirement. Now we can very well connect this node with our AI agent. Let me connect it first, and then I want to get the transcribe recording. You can see this prompt is right now configured to take the instruction through the text message, but this time we have to take it from the transcribed recording. So now there is some change here, right? Sometimes we will take the message from here, sometimes from here. To make it suitable for both text and audio message, let me rewrite this syntax like this. If the input was a text message, it will take instructions from here, or if the message was a voice message, it will take the input from this way. In both the cases, LLM will get the instructions, which is important. Yes, let me save this, execute workflow. And we got the response back. This is good. Now let me send a voice message. Create a story where Vanshu and her little sister Riddhu saved a village from a terrorist attack. Whew, this is super good, right? So no matter whether we send a text message or a voice message, based on our custom needs, our n8n workflow is able to respond us with a nicely crafted, freshly generated story for us. That's so nice. But hey, there is a problem. No matter it is a text message or voice message, it is always responding to us with text message only, because that's what we have asked it to do, right? AI agent will create an output and we will send that output back to the requester. But this is a problem, isn't it? Let's make a deal here. If the request message is in text format, we will respond back with the story in the text message format. And if the initial message itself is in voice, we should respond with a voice message. So I just want to add a switch statement much similar like this and add very similar routing rules. So I have to go to Telegram trigger. This file ID. If it is there, that means it is audio message. Yes. And string exists, it is audio. String exists, it is text message. And there we go. Okay, I have changed the order. Let me put it back. I'll just make it this way. So text message goes first, and for text message especially, we are already all set. No changes needed here. For text message, it will simply respond with the text message, which it can do already. Now we need to handle the audio message part. We can do this with OpenAI node. We can generate audio based on the message. So we will get the message and then we can generate the audio. There are several voices available. In my case, I want to generate that audio that kids like it. This entire workflow is of no use if at the end of day kid is unable to relate with it. If it sounds a machine voice, right? Because story has their own rhythm, right? They need to be more soothy. So I have tried these OpenAI voices and I didn't like any of those. So I dropped this idea and decided to do something better. I apologize for making it slightly more tricky than I promised, but please realize I'm making it for, making a workflow that kids actually use. I do not want to make it for namesake only. So that's why I want to drop this OpenAI node. And what I found interesting is ElevenLabs has got some voices that sounds more natural. For this reason, we will go ahead with ElevenLabs. Okay. If you are hearing ElevenLabs for the first time in your life, please do not worry at all. I'm no expert either. I have just recently explored ElevenLabs and I found it interesting. For the sake of this workflow, I will introduce you to ElevenLabs. As much you need to know, and it is very straightforward. Alright, let's do it. Out of these several actions, what we are interested in is converting text to speech. Let me take this. My account is already set up, but never mind, I'll create new credentials. Go to ElevenLabs, log in. I've logged in. Text to speech we want to try. Now here you have the entire library of different voices. You can try some voice just by playing those and see whether they sounds more natural for your use case, right? Out of these voices, what I found interesting was this Devi, clear Hindi pronunciation. So you can explore this voice library, look for different voices, try to play them and see whether they are more suitable for your requirement, and whichever voice you find suitable, you can add it to your voices. Okay? It will take a couple of seconds. And it is added to your voice, means with your API key now you can use this voice. Likewise, I found this voice Devi, clear Hindi pronunciation. So I like this for my requirement, so I added it to the list of voices. That's one thing you need to do. So we get some free credits as well, which I exhausted immediately. So I had to add my credit card and buy some credits, which we can do using a very straightforward process. And then we need to create an API key. Create API key, give some name. You can give this custom name and make it a unrestricted key. Okay. Create. This is the key. Go here, save it. That's it. So you are good here, right? You have created the ElevenLabs connection successfully. That's all we needed to learn about ElevenLabs in order to convert text into voice. Okay, I'll go here because you see I had added Devi earlier, but just for this demonstration I had added one more voice, Charles. So even this is getting listed. In case you have finalized some voice for your use case and not seeing it here, please add it to the list of voices. Not everything will be available by default. Okay. So we want Devi. And what is the text that we want to convert? Let me send another audio message now. Vanshika and her little sister Riddhu were rewarded with a trip to the moon for the bravery in saving their village from fire. Yeah. How cool is that? Okay, so this is just a text message hi. Now we need to replace it with output. And we should make a habit of renaming the nodes. I'll make it output audio or text, and this one input audio or text. That seems fine, so not changing there. And so earlier, just for removing the syntax error from the workflow, in order to make it executable, I had to put some message. This time I replaced it with the actual message, but now we can replace it with this output message. Sounds good. Go back, and last thing that we need to do is sending this response back to the user. Let's do it. So Telegram, what we want to do in Telegram, send a file. So send an audio file. Okay, this is account, send audio. To whom we want to send? We want to send it to someone who sent the message first, right? So chat ID, put it here. And we need to turn on this binary file because that's what we have generated in the previous node that we want to send. Matching, it's good. Now let me execute this step. And there we go. We have got the story in the voice message. This is so cute. I can't explain the happiness when I see my kid enjoying this when she came back from school and I gave her this surprise. Really, she liked it a lot. This is so good. I'll just rename this my workflow as Loria Storyteller. Maybe you can come up with a better name, and instead of me executing this workflow every time, now we can go live. So just make it active. Yeah, and got it. And now when we will send a next message, just for sample, create a nice story where Vanshu and her little sister Riddhu are superheroes. In fact, I can give these instructions in my native language as well. So immediately the workflow should trigger. You can see it's already running. And we can expect a response within a minute. Okay. And there we go. Our workflow ran for some 49 seconds. And we have got the story back. Okay. In case you want to read, this is the output. This is working like magic in my case already. But as an enhancement, I would request you to play out with these prompts. User message, maybe add your custom language, some slangs, how lengthier the story you want to generate using this LLM. Or you might not like ElevenLabs voice quality and you have a cheaper alternate already in mind. So please play around with this, but do not forget to suggest those enhancements to me as well. Okay, I think we have had plenty of workflow talk today. Now it is time to step aside from the tech and share something a bit more personal. And trust me, the takeaways here are just as valuable. When I first started building this workflow, it was meant to be just for fun. But then something surprising happened. The very first story my wife generated was about the harmful effects of mobile phone on kid. Now, my daughter is bit addicted to screens. After school, she jumps straight onto the phone. Me telling her not to use it doesn't work. but a story teaching the same lesson that actually impacts her. All fathers in the house, please give me cheer. Kids' minds are like soft clay. They absorb stories much more deeply than lectures. That's when I realized this workflow could actually be used for educating children, not just entertaining them. We could create stories around good habits, sleeping on time, playing outdoors, being kind, eating healthy, and so much more, isn't it? Another interesting thing happened. I observed my kid was generating some stories on some curse word, something inappropriate which she would have heard in the school, and she was trying to create a story around it. That made me think, see, we are giving technology in the hands of kids. Generative AI is very powerful technology. We should be careful and put some guardrails so that kids do not have ability to generate any inappropriate content for their consumption. Okay, and now here is an interesting part. My wife shared this telegram bot with her friends and they all loved it, especially the new moms. That made me think maybe there is even a small business idea here. A safe storytelling app for kids with guardrails so they can't generate bad or inappropriate prompts, but filled with meaningful stories that shape their habits. Generative AI is powerful, but we must use it responsibly, especially for children. Who knows? If you are getting some idea and try to make some business around it, I absolutely have no problem. Alright? I wish you luck to become a billionaire soon, but hey, please do not forget me. Okay? You have to give me royalty. Alright, on this exciting note, it's time to conclude the video. Thank you for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Tata. Bye bye. Tudum, 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 tudum.